Hello, storyteller. Storytelling Ryan. I want to talk about die ranks. Using die ranks for skill rolls. Okay, and there's a few things here that I love, but it's getting kind of tricky and in the weeds as far as the rules. And this has to do, and this is true for any role playing game. When you play regular role playing games, your skills and your fighting and stuff. But as you go up levels, it gets more tricky. And especially when you allow characters to craft things, that's into the weeds, right? And that's what this video is kind of going to get into is the crafting of things. But the first thing I want to talk about before I do the crafting part is the getting those higher level kind of characters with their higher skills. And I want to explain that because that's kind of important. Because I'm already getting into characters that they're doing that. They're going beyond the D12 into the rank 6, rank 7, the die ranks of their skills, right? And so how do we do that? For the, when you have a skill like, I'm going to start with the action skills, like to hit. So for to hit and to damage of a weapon, okay. So obviously they're going to have their trait for to hit, like shooting. A laser rifle, it's their awareness. That's their aim, awareness. So they get the +4. Let's say 4. I'm using +4 as the maximum now, not +5 for starting characters. So +4, and they of course they're going to say, I want to really practice. I'm really training on my marksmanship. So they're going to spend their glory points into to hit. So they got the +4 for their awareness, and now they got the D4. They're going to go to D6. They're going to go to D8. So this is adding to their laser rifle. Let me just type it over here real quick, just so you can. Laser rifle to hit +4 plus D. Let's say they go to D12, right? They're going to go rank 5, but now they're going to go to rank 6. Okay, so when they go to rank 6 on their to hit, it's going to be, ignore the bottom part there, D12, now D4, KH, okay? Keep the highest. So what that means is, when they roll these two, they got to keep the highest roll, okay? That way, the reason I did it this way, and it took me, I had to refine the rules and polish, so this is going to kind of go into the second edition. It's in the first edition, and I do explain it, but it's only a few lines, and I don't know if that's enough for you to understand it. So that's why I'm kind of making this video and be part of a errata and clarifications and stuff like that, Q&A. But for the second edition, which I'm working on because I want to collate all the rules to one book and then have all the campaign, the Dark Ages and Apocalypse and all it be a sort of a campaign books. But when you get up the ranks of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you have D12 in the second die, right? And you keep the highest. And as you can see here, that's what this is, okay? Now, that's for all skills, temporary stuff, and to buy that, or glory points, to gain this D4, you have to spend 4 glory points to gain that second die at D4, because it's a permanent upgrade. If it was a temporary upgrade, let me go to the permanent, and then I'll come back to temporary. So then 4 glory points for the D4, then 6 glory points for the next one. So it's really expensive, right? It's going to get really, really expensive for them to go up. But I want them to know that they can always continually go up in their skills. They're not capping at 10th level or 20th, whatever in D&D and all that. They can even go to the next, and I'm going to make the third die the same price, 4, 6, 8, I mean, we could change that to triple or whatever. I don't know. But right for now, I'm going to keep it like that. Because you only keep the highest. You don't add them together. Adding them together would make this ridiculous and so high, and they're always succeeding. I want it to be more refined. As you get better at something, you don't get exponentially better. You get just a little better, originally or initially you get really good at things really fast, but then as you get so good at it, the improvements are minuscule at that point. And so that's what this represents. And if you roll, there's a little chart here. where, if you roll 2 1s on the 2 die bonus dice, then you add a fumble. If you roll 2 6s, it explodes the dice, and you could add both dice to the roll, not just keep the highest. And these are just like optional things for the fun of it. If you roll 1 on the lowest die, it adds a negative narrative, which won't affect the result of the die roll, but it does add a negative thing to it. And rolling a 6 on the highest die is, no matter whether you roll keep highest or just single die, you avoid a fumble and adds a positive narrative. For damage die, if you do the 2 6s on the damage die, and you got to keep the highest, but if you roll 2 6s, you get to add them both together and lots of damage, and you get to also add an additional D4 or 1 die rank grievous wound. Same thing, D4 or 1 die rank, on top of any other if you did a critical or something. Okay, so that's kind of a fun little extra thing when you get to the 2 die for your skill or damage or to hit or whatever. So that's for regular skills, and again, to permanently raise them up, it costs 4 glory points for the first one, 6 for the second one, 8 for the third one, and so on. Now, if however you say you have 5 die ranks into hit in your aim for shooting a laser gun, and the cleric blesses you, right, and gives you 3 die ranks, right? D8 gives you a D8, 3 die ranks. So what would you do? Does it go to D4? No, it's 1 for 1 because it's temporary. So I don't mind that the D12, the 5 of your skill plus the 3 from the blessing makes it now a D12, D8. Okay, so that's your aiming and your bless make your to shot there a D12 and a D8. Roll both of them and keep the highest. But if you roll 2 6s, you get to explode the dice and add it to the total of the to hit, which, as long as you just beat a 12, you're fine. So it's kind of overkill, but hey, that's what that is. Okay, that's for right here, any sort of action or skill rolls. And you use your skill, you can add blessings, you can add an inspired die. There could be an aid. I don't think there's an aid to shooting. If someone, I really don't know if they describe as something that could aid in shooting, I would give them a D4 maybe if it sounded like it made sense. The DRR part of this really has to do more with crafting, but I'll get to that. The die rank result. But aid in a simplistic way, you can give them a D4 if you feel like the person is really helping them. In a quick skill roll type of situation. Actually, I should probably do that. Aid, simple. Aid, DRR. Okay. And gear bonus obviously is going to, if they have an aiming device upgrade on the weapon, that'll give them a bonus. But all of that again will just increase these 1 for 1, not 4 for the 4 or 6 for the 6. If it's temporary, you just give them 1 for 1. So one bonus goes to 6. If gear bonus is plus D4, it's 1 die rank, so it'll go from 5 to a 6. The blessings are 3, 7, 8, 9, so it gets a 9, right? So it's just 1 for 1. So they could go up to 12 or 14, whatever. But again, to me it's harmless because you're keeping the highest. You're not adding them together to do the thing. Okay, so that's for skills. It could be for jumping. It could be for whatever else. It's 1 for 1. Now, when it costs much more is when you're trying to get a permanent upgrade, like a laser rifle over here. If you're trying to get your laser rifle to go from actually, the laser rifles are D12, D4. So let's say you want to increase your laser rifle's damage to a D6. Now remember, this D12 and D6 are keep the highest. It's not D12 plus D6. And there are options. There are different things in the game that will have D12 plus D6, like powered armor for its armor save will have that. Power mace or power hammer or power sword, which is kind of like a lightsaber. They will have D12 plus D6 damage. Okay, so there are those options in there in the game, but let's not worry about that. Let's focus on this. So if here D4 and then this person wants to make this a D12 D6, or that's kind of a wrong symbol there. Upgrade to, so now we're going into engineering crafting, right? And the way I do this is I look at the first damage is 12. So that to me is the largest number of the rifle. Like what makes it the coolest is its damage. So I give it a TR 22, which is 12 above a 10. I could do 12 above a 12 because 12 is my normal to hit, number. But for die rank results or things where I just want to determine things, I use a 10. Die rank results. I don't know if you know that rule. The die rank result is basically when anyone wants to roll like prayer. I want to pray and give everyone an inspired die, right? So that's a DRR. So I roll my prayer and I add all my skills or die ranks and all that to it, and I get a 16. So that's 6 above 10. So that's my die rank result, 6. The die rank result then of 6 is a D6. Okay. If I roll a 17, my die rank result would be a 6, a D6, because 7 is not 8. So you don't get the D8. You get the lower one. So 16. So D6. So everyone in the prayer group gets a D6 bonus, inspired die. That's what a DRR, a die rank result. That's what that is. And so for this, I kind of correlate that with this. And so the goal of the person is to get this D12, and I add it to a 10, which is what I do for die ranks, DRRs, and it's a 22. So that's the main number they got to beat. However, there's a second number here. Oh, I'm sorry. The second number they want to get is this D6. They want to upgrade this D4 to a D6. Okay, so what do I do there? Minus 6 die ranks. So they have to overcome 6 die ranks of difficulty and then roll to get the 22. So they're going to have to, for crafting things, they're going to have all these over here, all those over there. Their skill die rank, obviously, like if they have weapon crafting of die rank 4, they might get some aid from somebody. Oh, the aid over here would be a DRR. So what is that? So they have an intellect, they want to help them as an assistant. I'll let them roll. They probably don't have anything in weapon crafting, but I'll give them a DRR, and it'll be a 10. Now I might make that a 14. I could arbitrarily do that as a GM. I might say whatever above a 14, because this is really tough. And I can decide that, but I'll just say 10. So let's say they roll a 16. All they have is their intellect. They don't have any weapon crafting or nothing. So they roll a 16 total. So they get a D6. So they get to give a D6 to the engineer to craft the weapon. So that D6 is what, 2 there. That'll reduce this down, for 2 of those ranks. Gear bonus. They'll have some tools. Workshop. That'll have a die rank or 2. And generally, you as a GM, when you give them stuff, make sure it's really low die ranks. 2 is like crazy. A plus D6 workshop is an immaculate workshop. Okay, a D8, D10, that is like super sci-fi alien workshop. Don't give them that. Don't let them on that. And if they want to make that, an engineer could design a workshop. And you would again do this type of thing. But I would even make it harder. Also, if they want to upgrade that, I would also do. It requires 1 high tech and tech spice to do it. 1 high tech and 1 tech spice. So they got to go get those as well to do this. So that's the role right there. And if they get it succeed, they improve the laser rifle this much. And if they succeed beyond like a credible number, they don't improve this, but I could say they don't have to use the tech spice. They get to save that. Or they save on their time, or I could allow them to have a bonus for later, or an inspired die bonus, whatever. I'll give it to them for something else, but I won't as a temporary or whatever. But I will not increase this up. They have to go to the next. If they want to go to D8, they have to start this whole process again to improve it. Now, if they roll a failure, I could damage the weapon permanently, lose all their stuff if they roll a failure. Another failure is if they fail. I could say the gun can never be upgraded at that point. Like that's the maximum this gun can handle now, or whatever. That kind of failure as well. So so they have to get a whole new laser rifle and start over again. So there's that potential for fun stuff. So this is how I do making crafting things or upgrading. Right, this is an upgrade, and even crafting or upgrade. Now, if this was crafting, I would add more materials that they needed. Pretty much same roles, but I would need more materials. And of course, I wouldn't give them the I would do this because it's if they were actually making it from scratch. But I would have 4 low tech, 2 high tech. I would say 3 high tech because this is a laser rifle, and 2 tech spice. So kind of a lot of stuff they need to make the rifle, as opposed to just go out and get one. And they'd only get the basic listing of the rifle, which is a D12, D4 damage. Keep the highest. Okay, so I hope that explained the DRs, die ranks. For regular skills, you just keep going up. And obviously, I'm in a chart here where you could even be at negative. Oh yeah, let me. I forgot about that. And if you go beyond -5, you'll be at negative D12, negative D4. So keep the lowest die when you roll. 2 things for a GM concerning when a character wants to roll, say, shooting, and they have 5 skill ranks, and then you're going to give them penalties to their hit. Let's say they're wounded. They're at -D8. They're really hurt, but they're going to shoot because they're in a desperate situation. Two options. You can either have them apply it to this. So -D8 would make it go down 3 ranks, right? So 5, 3. So they would be at 2 D6 to hit. Or I could let them keep that, and I would roll a D8 and add it to the defense of the person they're trying to hit. You could do both either way. I mean, whatever's quick. I've found that it's quicker for me to just roll it, add it to the defense of the thing than for them to figure, I gotta do this, and it's just kind of quicker that way. So it's up to you which way you want to do it. If there's all these factors that make it make it harder for him to shoot, maybe it's dark, maybe they don't have the high ground, whatever the factors are, you can quickly put them in your head and then roll it, and then just add it to the defense, whatever they need to do to hit. That's, to me, I found out to be the simplest. And I let them know too. I let them know what I'm doing. And at some point I don't keep going with all these factors. I just throw like 2 or 3 factors at them, not every single factor I can think of, to make it harder for them. I just, obviously their grievous wound is going to be one major factor, but then if it's dark, I don't do dark though, because everyone's at a disadvantage there, right? If it's dark, it's got to be something that's specific to, one versus the other, sort of a thing. So if it's foggy, I don't give them a penalty because it's foggy for the bad guys as well. So why bother giving a penalty for that? But if someone has the high ground, someone has cover, those type of things, there's smoke in one area but not in the other, although that'd still be hard to hit if they're in the smoke or whatever the factor is. I will add those together quickly, roll it, and add it to the defense of the target, in this sort of instance. So there's that. Okay. I'm just kind of working out now this little errata here for the first edition, just like extra info. This will probably go on my website once I'm just trying to get it all nice and clean and quick and clear, because it's a fun in the weeds type of thing for going higher leveled, more experienced in the game. And if you ever have any questions about the game system or how to play, I'm on Discord quite a bit, or you can email me too through the YouTube, or comment on the video. That would be great. I'd appreciate that to get this out there more, so that Christian men can find me on YouTube, because I don't know where else to market myself. And again, I'm certainly sorting myself. I'm focusing quite laserly like a laser onto Christian men, to Christian dads, to start this Christian role-playing game where you can teach your kids to evangelize, fellowship, edification, and how they can verbalize the gospel in all these fun settings, and yet have fun adventure as well, and do a role-playing game that fulfills all of your and my needs concerning D&D, or all the Gamma Worldy, or all the OSR style fun gonzo stuff that we love, and I certainly understand that, and so I'm doing everything I can to create a Star Wars like setting, a Gamma World like setting. The Hyperborea, I love Hyperborea, I really do. I've kind of got a little I've never played the game and I barely read the book, but I understand the gonzo-ness of it, and I like that concept, doing a gonzo Hyperborea type thing. All right, I think I better stop talking on this video. I'd love to talk more about just OSRs and stuff. But I just want to go into the die ranks, a little bit about the DRR, but also the die ranks for skills and the die ranks for crafting things, which I found pretty interesting and fun to do, because I know some, they want to do that kind of stuff in a game, and it's definitely in the weeds. You don't have to do it as regular players, and as a new GM, I would not recommend doing crafting. Don't have them do it. Have them just focus on glory points and the whole glory points with the second die they can add to them as well as they go up, spend that. But again, make it expensive. And try not to give them too many crazy D4 or D8, D6, D8 type magic items or anything like that. Maybe a D4 one, like a holy relic that they cherish and encourages them. But I wouldn't go beyond that if you can help it. Have them focus on glory points, and I would have a cleric or a bishop at a church talk to them about it as well. That why are you focusing on these? Why are you relying on the sword when you should be relying on your faith and on the gospel? And so get them, because a lot of the characters too, I notice will start using fire, and that's fine in the beginning, but at some point I'm going to make the pagans go, oh, we love you because you're a fire god. You're a god of fire that helps you with your fire. Oh no, we're not fire. We're Christians. No, the fire. You use fire. You use fire to repel the beast. You use fire on your arrows. We know your God is of fire. So do that kind of thing where you mess with them and they're like, oh boy, we got to stop using fire, because they're going to think that's what our faith is. And have them then focus back in on the blessings, on the heal, on the protections, on the glory. Using those things more than magic items, or fire or whatever other advantage they're going to use. And that's what happened in history. Yeah. All right. So hope this helped. Again, please comment if you have any questions. That would really help me on the YouTube thing. Have fun with this. This is really a lot of fun, I'm telling you. In the game of life, roll, because it's so much fun and rewarding in a ministry as well, and for the Lord, roll holy dice.